Have you ever believed that something, a place, a symbol, a memory, could hold a family together? I used to think a lighthouse could do that, its beams slicing through the fog, steady and constant, a promise that no matter how far we drifted, it would guide us back to safety. But my lighthouse, it wasn't a beacon, it was a trap, a prison I built with my own sweat and sacrifice for people who never saw me as anything more than their endless supply of money and blind devotion. My name is Marissa Hale, and this is the story of how I shattered their illusion and reclaimed myself from the shadows of betrayal. Before I begin, take a moment, subscribe to Tales Between Time for more powerful stories like this, and let me know in the comments where you're watching from. I love seeing how far these stories travel. Now let me take you back. Chapter 1, Anchored and Adrift. I was 38, a data strategist at a coastal investment firm. My days were spent in glass towers where the ocean hummed just beyond the windows. To most people, my life looked secure, a stable career, a modern loft in the city, and the quiet relief of being free from a messy divorce. No kids, no chaos, just me, just order. But tethered to that order was one thing I hadn't let go of, the lighthouse. It sat on a cliff 2 hours north of the city, weathered stone wrapped in ivy, its light still sweeping the horizon like a ghost from another century. It had come to me in the divorce settlement. My ex-husband, Daniel, wanted nothing to do with it, calling it a crumbling tower of nostalgia. To me, it was complicated. It held too many echoes, family summers, whispered secrets, stormy nights by the fire. I told myself I'd sell it, trade its damp stone walls for a sleek penthouse overlooking the harbor, something that shouted, "Marissa has taken her life back," but my family had other plans. Chapter 2, The Pleas of Blood. My mother, Vivian, with her velvet voice and steel will, begged me to keep it. My father, Richard, all shipyard grit and charming smirks, called it our legacy. And then there was my younger brother, Caleb, ever the dreamer with his easy grin, and his fiancée, Elena, who had already started decorating the cottage in her mind. "Marissa, it's our sanctuary," Vivian cooed over champagne one evening, her hand brushing mine like a spell. "Imagine the stories we'll weave here, the traditions." Caleb leaned forward, eyes shining with conviction. "Bonfires in summer, cozy retreats in winter. Think of it, Riss. This is family." And like always, I folded. I always folded. I kept the lighthouse. I even refinanced my city loft to cover its upkeep. And, as a show of goodwill, I gave my mother a key. For the next 4 years, that lighthouse became their haven. My parents sipped brandy by its fire. Caleb and Elena turned it into their romantic escape. Family gatherings spilled into weekends of laughter and seafood feasts. My Aunt Celeste, Uncle Victor, and their children filled the cottage like it belonged to them too. And me? I played hostess, benefactor, and dutiful daughter. I drove up on weekends with bottles of wine, pretending I was part of something sacred, pretending their affection was real. But love doesn't whisper cruelty behind closed doors. Chapter 3, The Eavesdropper. It was a winter evening when truth came to me. I wasn't supposed to be free. Work had canceled a meeting, leaving me with a rare open night. I thought, why not surprise them? I stopped at a seaside bakery, picking up lemon cakes, biscotti, treats that melted on the tongue. I imagined their smiles when I walked through the door, arms full, laughter rising. The lighthouse stood tall against the twilight, waves smashing like drums below. Cars crowded the drive, my mother's vintage convertible, Caleb's Jeep, Elena's sedan. Inside, laughter spilled like firelight. I crept to the side door, key ready, basket in hand. And then I froze. Vivian's voice, sharp, cold as the tide, slipped through the stone. "Marissa is so naive, it's almost tragic." The room roared with laughter. Glasses clinked. My chest tightened. I pressed myself against the wall, the basket trembling in my arms. Richard's chuckle followed. "Remember how we convinced her to keep this place? She was set on selling, but we spun that tale of family legacy. She buckled like always." Caleb chimed in, smug. "She covers my car payments every month. I just say I'm strapped, and she sends $1,200, no questions asked." Celeste cackled. "I told her I needed $3,000 for medical bills. Bought patio furniture instead. She never checked." Victor's deep voice joined. "She gave me $2,500 for boat repairs. I bought a jet ski. Didn't even blink." And then, my mother again, her tone dripping with malice. "To Marissa, our endless bankroll. Cheers to foolish sisters with deep pockets." Bottles clinked. Laughter swelled, and my world shattered. The basket slipped from my grip, spilling cakes onto the stone. I turned, heart pounding, and vanished into the night. Back in my loft, the tears came hot and relentless. Their words splintered me, each one sharper than glass. But beneath the grief, something colder stirred. Resolve. They thought I was their pawn. They were wrong. Chapter 4. The Engagement Scheme. 3 weeks later, Vivian called. Her voice was syrup, thick and sweet. Darling, Caleb and Elena are engaged. We're planning a beautiful party at the Lighthouse. Can we use it? Of course, I said smoothly. For family. And then came the ask, right on schedule. We're stretched thin. Could you chip in $7,000 for a chef, lanterns, the cake? It's Caleb's big moment. I nearly laughed, the audacity. But I played along. Steep, I murmured. My loft drained me this month. But maybe you cover it first and I'll reimburse later. Brilliant, she purred. They didn't know what I knew. They didn't know the game had shifted. Chapter 5. Locking the Tower. The night before their grand celebration, I called a locksmith, a woman named Marie. Under the starlight, she replaced every lock, cottage, tower, gate, even the shed. By dawn, the place was sealed. When I walked through the cottage, it took my breath away. Roses in crystal vases, lanterns glowing gold, white linen draped over long tables. It was stunning, magical, and I destroyed it. One by one, I stripped it bare. Lanterns packed into garbage sacks, flowers tossed over the cliff, tables dismantled. By the time the sun dipped low, the cottage was empty, like a stage after the curtain falls. Then I waited. Chapter 6. The Confrontation. My phone lit up first with frantic calls, then with rage. Marissa! Vivian's voice cracked. The keys don't work! Richard. What the hell's going on? Caleb, furious. You're ruining my engagement party. I sipped espresso, watching them thrash on my security feed. Finally, I answered. I changed the locks, I said, my voice calm, cold. Stunned silence. Then Vivian again, desperate. Why? We're stranded here with the chef, with guests arriving. Because I heard you, I cut in. 3 weeks ago. Every word, the laughter, the lies, the toasts to your foolish sister with deep pockets. She faltered. You misheard, darling. We would never. I heard Caleb brag about my car payments, Celeste's fake medical bills, Victor's jet ski, your plan to make me fund Caleb's wedding. Don't lie to me again. Caleb seized the phone, shouting, You can't do this. You're ruining everything. The decorations, the food. They're in sacks by the cliff, I said flatly. Take them and leave, or I call the police. My cameras are recording. Vivian tried one last plea. We're family, Marissa. We spent $7,000 on this. Your gamble, your loss. I'm done being your fool. And with that, I hung up. Through the cameras, I watched them scatter, humiliated. Caleb cursed. Elena wept. Their guests slunk away in silence. For the first time in years, I felt free. Chapter 7. The Rebirth. That was 7 months ago. I didn't sell the Lighthouse. Instead, I transformed it. It's now a retreat, a sanctuary for travelers who pay me to stay. Their laughter fills the halls, but it's different. It's honest. The income covers the loan. The peace covers my wounds. Caleb and Elena had a courthouse wedding. I wasn't invited. I didn't care. My parents leave voicemails I delete unheard. Celeste tried sending an apology through a cousin. I never replied. They revealed their truth. I chose mine. And here's what I learned. Cutting ties didn't sink me. It saved me. So, to anyone listening who has been used, drained, or betrayed by the very people who should have lifted you up, know this. You are not bound to them. You do not owe them your life, your money, or your peace. Sometimes, walking away is the only way to survive. I am not the naive woman they mocked. I am Marissa Hale, the keeper of my own light, and I will never dim it for them again. Have you ever had to let go of someone you loved because they only took from you? Share your story in the comments. I read every single one. And if this story touched you, remember to like this video, subscribe to Tales Between Time, and keep walking toward the light of your own truth. Until next time, I wish you a life of peace, strength, and radiant health. Stay well.